What's happening? Jason Woodland back again with Always the Journey TV. I am obviously your host, so thank you very much again for tuning in. I've been having an awesome time being able to talk to all kinds of wonderful people. So, anyway, today is another beautiful day. It is snowy outside, so that's one thing we have going for ourselves here in Salt Lake City. Got a nice hot cup of rooibos tea, so I'm very happy about that as well. Today is Veterans Day, so happy Veterans Day to all of you veterans out there, my father being one of them. And also, Bitcoin is doing its thing. It's on the up and up, so that's always a fun thing and very exciting. So today, I am really excited to have on a very interesting guest, someone who has a service that a lot of people actually need. And we're going to do a deep dive and learn the granular details of what she does for her business. But my next guest, I guess this is episode number 7. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. So her name is Kate Greenwood. She's 34 years old. She currently lives in St. George, Utah. She says she still doesn't know what she wants to be when she grows up, but I would argue that she is a phenomenal writer, and that's what she's doing as she's growing up. She lived in Washington, D.C. as a government contractor, where she also went to school and worked for 7 years before realizing that that wasn't the life for her, and she decided to move back out west. She has a Bachelor of Arts from Utah State University in History and International Studies, and she's got a master's degree from a Missouri State University in Defense and Strategic Studies. And that's really where we really hit it off when we were talking about history. And one of our favorite books is Sun Tzu's work, The Art of War. So that is a very fun thing that we were able to share some thoughts and ideas upon. She loves to read, and she is a diehard fan of anything related to military history and World War II specifically. She's been swimming since she was a kid and swam competitively through high school and college. She's been teaching and coaching swim for almost 15 years. She loves the water a lot, and she said that it's part of her soul. I completely agree with that. I always say that the ocean is part of my being, and I have to see it at least once a year, although unfortunately haven't seen it yet in 2020 because of everything that we are currently dealing with and going through. So when she's not at the pool or writing, she's creating. She loves building things and bringing new life to things that have been discarded. She's obsessed with all things fabric and vintage buttons. So that's really cool. My friends, please allow me to introduce my friend Kate Greenwood from St. George, Utah. What's happening?
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing unbelievable. How are you doing?
Good. I'm trying to stay warm.
Yeah.
Out here in the desert, it's a little bit cold.
Well, for St. George standards, as you were saying before, you were what, 45 degrees?
45? Yeah. It's a little bit chilly.
That actually is a little bit chilly for St. George, but the one thing you have right now that I don't is palm trees.
Yes.
Some of my very favorites.
Mine too. That is true. So, and blue skies. We don't have snow, which I am eternally grateful for.
Yes. Although every once in a while you may get a little scurry of snow, right?
Yeah, a little sprinkle, or it's those like weird flurries that like float down and then melt before they hit the ground.
Yes, exactly.
But not a whole lot. So thank goodness.
Yes, without a doubt. So I'm taking it you like St. George a little bit better than Washington, D.C.
Yes.
All right.
I'm more of a sunshine and desert climate type of a person.
Nice.
Intense humidity and extreme cold weather doesn't really bode well for me. So.
That's awesome. Well, St. George is honestly one of my favorite places just because it's like our little desert oasis in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of fun to cruise down and, eat pizza and sit next to a palm tree.
Right. And hang out. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I was like super skeptical about moving here when I like was first considering it. Yeah. And then I got here and I'm like, oh, it's kind of cute. Like I could be here.
Nice.
So it's grown on me. I like it.
And the thing that's cool too is that I mean you're not far from Las Vegas, so you've got a whole bunch of stuff going on down there, and then of course that's not that much further from Los Angeles, which means that you're by the beach and the ocean.
Yes, which is also amazing. So I used to live there, so it's like my homeland.
Nice.
So, you know, but because of Rona, we can't really go anywhere yet. So, like you said, I haven't been able to make any trips there yet, but it'll happen soon. I hope.
Yes, without a doubt. So Kate, I'm really excited about talking to you about the details of your business, because you've got a service that, I mean, really can have a huge positive benefit to a multitude of different types of business owners. And so I wanted to, so you do writing, you do technical writing, you do blog writing. Tell me about all the different types of writing, first of all. Actually, you know what? Let's talk first of all about the inspiration, all to begin with. Like, what inspired you to be a writer?
I've always loved writing. Like, I've always had a really vivid imagination. And when I was younger, I kept journals. I was always writing stories. Creative writing in school was like one of my favorite classes. And so it's just always something that I've done and enjoyed, but never really thought I could do as a career until I got to college. And then in college, I realized how much I actually enjoy it, and that there are things you can do with writing that are both fun and can give you a career.
Yeah. So that's really interesting, because the thing that, you know, I mean, most people anyway, the people that I talk to don't really like to write per se. They have some phenomenal ideas.
Yeah.
But putting things to mind, to paper, can be pretty challenging.
Yes, it's very hard. It's a very different, I don't know, it's an art form. So it's something that's very different. It's a very different creative structure. You know, like, I couldn't stand up and give a public speech to save my life, but I could write it down on paper and, like, you know, send it to the masses and we'd be solid. So it's one of those things where, you know, struggling to find the right words is very real, because they're, you know, people express themselves in very different ways, but often don't understand that writing is also one of those expressive, you know, arts. It's a love language.
Interesting. Okay. So, you know, when I was growing up, we were sent to live with my grandparents for a short term in elementary school. And my grandfather, he had us reading the dictionary every single day. So I had to memorize 3 words out of the dictionary every day.
That's fantastic.
Oh, it was fantastic. Well, it wasn't fantastic in 5th grade.
That's true. That's true.
It was horrible. But now, yes, exactly. Now it's fantastic, and I love it. And it gave me a huge appreciation for the spoken, not only the spoken word, but the written word. And like you, we're both avid readers.
Yes.
And the catch is, I love the idea of writing, but doing the task of writing is a different story, because you have to dedicate that time and you know, all the stuff.
Yep. It's really hard. It's often one of the things that, one of the pain points I often find my clients have is just getting what your brain wants you to say onto paper, you know, because there's so many thoughts and so many ideas, and it's not often structured when your thoughts come to you. Yeah. And so that's one of the big things that people struggle with is, hey, I have these big, great, you know, awesome ideas, but I don't know where to start. I feel so jumbled and I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what the purpose is. And that's really, like, there's some really beautiful writing exercises that can help you work through, you know, those kind of roadblocks that will help you grow, you know, your business or, you know, whatever it is that you're working towards. I don't know. It's amazing. Nice. Writing it's so fun, and it's a science and it's an art, and there's so much that goes into it, and I love it.
Nice. Well, that's awesome, because we need to have people like you in the world to help others get their ideas onto paper or onto the screen. So tell us, more specifically about your business. So tell us your business name. Tell us what you do specifically.
Okay. So my business name is Content in Bloom, which kind of stems from my obsession with wildflowers and kind of growth and nature.
I love that. I was gonna ask you to elaborate on that. So thank you.
Okay, yeah. So, and my kind of area that I focus on is more long form writing. So oftentimes I get mistaken as a social media manager because people want me to come in and write their captions and do things that will help them, on those short form social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. But I focus more so on the long form writing. So I'm doing your blogs. I'm helping you put information on your website. I am helping you put together newsletters for your customers. I'm helping you write technical documents. If you have user manuals that you're sending out with, whatever, I guess if you make, one of my clients right now makes toys. And so I help them write their technical manuals to put together toys. So that's kind of gives you an idea, like, no one would ever think like, oh, hey, I need to write an instruction manual. Like, how am I going to tell a person to assemble all of this stuff together?
Yeah.
So, and that also could look like HR materials. You're sending out stuff to a large business with tons of employees, and they need to know, employee manuals, policies and procedures, different things like that. So a lot of it is more of the long form involved writing. I also do a lot of academic and business research. So I help assist with like professors or anyone who is writing books. I kind of am the ghostwriter. So I go in, I help do the research and kind of put together outlines of what they will eventually write. Sometimes I'm just doing all the research and just compile the research together. Sometimes I'm also helping. Like you mentioned, sometimes people don't want to take, the 300 hours that it could take to write their book. Mm-hmm. They don't want to sit down in their living room and spend the next 4 months, locked to their computer. So that's where I come in. I will spend the next 300 hours helping you write. So it could be memoirs, autobiographies, a business leadership book. I just sent in a proposal to work with a client to help her write her coffee table books. She's a photographer. And so every year around Christmas, she compiles pictures that she has taken throughout the year and curates them into a book. And I, hopefully, fingers crossed, will be helping her write all the captions and the stories that go with those pictures. So it's things like that you never realize, are maybe difficult, but they add an element to whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
Help you build relationships, whether that be, with your customers, just with people in general. That's kind of a big thing in digital marketing and your business. You're building relationships. You're establishing those relationships with your customers, and writing in words is one of the ways that you do that.
Yeah, definitely. So you're saying if someone came to you and they've got a new business and they've got a website that, is virtually empty, you can sort of do an interview with them to find out more details about their business and help them copyright out their entire website, let's say.
Yes.
Okay. I
can do that.
And then on the same line of things, if someone wanted to do, let's say, a weekly blog, mm-hmm. or maybe even a monthly blog, they can come to you.
Yes.
And do you do it can you do it separately? Can you do packages? What does that look like?
I mainly do it in packages. So they do it on a monthly basis. So that way we kind of, we sit down, kind of figure out where they're hoping to go with the blog, what it is that they're writing. Depending on what the business is and what their end goals are, I do have a couple different packages and a couple different ways that I help my clients kind of outline and figure out the direction that we're going with the blogs. I do also do single blogs. There are a lot of people that are just like, hey, I have my own blog. I love to write, but I just can't keep up with, the traffic in the business and everything that I'm pulling in. Can you write this one blog for me this month? And I can do a single blog. So it just kind of depends on like the needs and what the client is trying to accomplish.
Okay, interesting. So if someone, like you just said, if they're consistently writing, but they can subcontract with you
Yes.
here and there as they need.
Yeah, definitely. So
Okay.
there are a lot of business owners. There's lots of bloggers that actually love what they do and they love to write. But there comes a point where they're putting out so much content or their business has grown so much that they just can't keep up with it. And so they can keep me on a retainer, or they can just reach out to me, whenever they need it and just be like, hey, we need an extra blog for next month. Can you help us out? Like, this is what we'd like to have it centered on, or they'll just give me a topic and be like, go for it. And nice. I can research and write, whatever I want. Like recently I wrote, probably a couple months ago, I wrote a blog post on all the ways that you can recycle dryer lint. So did you know there's like over 10 ways that you can like use your dryer lint? So it was just like a random, like one blog that this lady needed help with because she just couldn't keep up with the traffic that she was having. And she just got busy. And I was like, of course. So, and it was really fun. Like that was something that was exciting for me because I learned, which is another great part of my job is I'm always meeting new people. I'm always learning new things. And yeah, I love to learn. So that's like exciting for me. I get to spend all day Googling things on the internet. And who doesn't love that?
That's awesome. I love that. So Kate, what geographic locations do you cover? Or I'm assuming since it's all remote, you can cover anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Yep. I can go anywhere. Clients I've had in the past have been in London and Ethiopia and Paris. So, and then, I mean, the majority of my clients come stateside, but I have done international clients. So,
wow.
As long as you have a need for, your English speaking customers and the English speaking side of your business, then I can help you.
Okay, awesome. So, so let's talk a little bit about what your perfect client looks like. So if someone were to say, to refer Kate Greenwood, like, who does that client look like? How does that really granularize?
Really, I think it's anyone who has an idea. They have something that they need to get written, but excuse me, but they can't figure out where to get started. So an ideal client for me is someone who has an idea and kind of an end goal, but doesn't know that middle structure to get there. So I'll use writing a book, for example. I have a client right now who is a veteran, by the way, and he wanted to write a book about his life. He's like, I have experienced so many things and I've seen so much growth in the military and technology, and kind of the job that he was in was a lot of research and development and kind of building things to what they are in the military today. And he's like, I want to put that all down on paper and tell people about it, but I literally have no idea where to start. Like, how do you even do something like that? And so that's kind of where I came in and was like, hey, great. Well, let's take this idea and we'll map it out and we'll start writing. So we got together and I interviewed him and he told me his whole life story, and now we have a book. So really it's anyone that has an idea and knows where they want to go with it, but just don't understand the process for getting started. So they want to start a blog on their business website, but have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
So we go in, we identify, your clients, who is your audience and what is it that they want to hear? What pain points do you serve in your business that we can help your client solve? which is kind of the basic motto for building any business, but it's the same thing in writing. Like you're talking to your clients. So, it's figuring out what your client wants to hear and then helping them solve problems within that writing. And you can do that in blogs, and you can help them understand your services and your mission, really educate and build relationships with potential clients, and current customers.
Right. And the thing is,
Does that make sense?
it does. It makes great sense. And I think it's also important to really sort of hit on the subject again of blogs, that they are still very important.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You're talking about creating long form content, and then you also strategize for SEO, search engine optimization within that. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, that is a big part of what I do in blogging, and any of the writing that you do to put on the internet is important, because then otherwise, like, it's just words. It's just a bunch of sentences strung together. So that's kind of where the art and strategy of it comes into play, is that research, kind of that SEO, and really identifying how and where your client is so that we can find them and give them what they need.
Yeah, exactly. So what are the best ways for someone to get a hold of you if they want to utilize your service or get to learn more about what you do?
Yeah, so they can find me on Facebook. My business page is Content in Bloom, or you can email me, and that can be at mkate.greenwood@gmail.com.
Nice. Okay. And I don't know if you noticed, but one of my favorite shirts I'm wearing right now, and I made sure I wore it for you, Content in Bloom, because they're little flowers.
Yes, I love it. I feel so special.
Okay, good. It's one of my favorite shirts, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make sure I wear this just for Kate today. So
perfect. Yeah.
Nice. So moving right before we wrap up with the last question, I wanted to make sure that the watchers of this video, that sounds so funny. My viewers of the video, they know you do blogs, you do technical writing.
Yes.
You do ghost writing, so you can write portions of a book, you can write an entire book, you can write ebooks, right? Okay. And then you also do press releases. Is that correct?
Yes, I can do press releases as well. Okay. So, and the important thing to note too with the ghostwriting that I do is a big part of the ghostwriting is not requiring a byline, which means I go in and help you write it, but I don't get the credit.
Okay, so in essence, you make the person look like the rose.
Yes, but it's a lot of people think that it's like stealing or it's plagiarism, but really I'm taking all of your thoughts, your ideas, like your exact words, and simply helping you put them onto paper.
Well, and the thing that's interesting, if you really dive deep into a lot of well, I wouldn't say a lot, but let's say a handful of the bestsellers, so I'm not generalizing.
Yes.
But a handful of them are ghostwritten or co-written in that type of manner.
Yep. There's probably a lot more out there. Like some of your favorite books have probably been co-authored by a ghostwriter.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like if you see a book that says like as told to, or in partnership with, oftentimes that means that they had a ghostwriter.
Fascinating.
So like, as told to Kate Greenwood means that Kate Greenwood was the one who wrote it, and Jason Woodland was the one who spoke it. So it would say like Jason in conjunction with Kate Greenwood, or as told to Kate Greenwood.
Okay, interesting. So someone could do that also with you if they decided to. They could do a conjunction with, or they could just do a full-blown ghostwrite.
So clients do have the option of picking whether or not they would like to have my name associated with it. Oftentimes people get a little bit embarrassed or don't want people to know that they had a ghostwriter. And so they won't have any mention that I wrote it, which I'm totally fine with, which is why I have chosen the path of a ghostwriter.
Okay.
If I was concerned about having a byline, I would have chosen a different path.
Then you would have been a byline writer instead of a ghostwriter.
Yeah, exactly. I would have been a basic freelance writer.
Okay, awesome. So in wrapping this up, I like to ask my guests what their favorite song or their favorite quote or both.
And that's so hard because I just love so many. I was trying to think about this. When you told me before that this was going to be a question, I was like, oh, how do I even narrow it down?
It's tough.
It's really tough. But I think I actually have one of my favorite quotes. It's by Nikita Gill. And it kind of goes back to the whole flowers thing because, I'm obsessed. But it's called Hearts Like Wildflowers. And it reads, I hope you are blessed with a heart like a wildflower, strong enough to rise again after being trampled upon, tough enough to weather the worst of the summer storms, and able to grow and flourish even in the most broken places, which is kind of like a self motto and kind of like is what I built my business on, is really giving people a place to speak, a platform that they can share their words and feel like they have a voice. And oftentimes in writing, it can be very healing, especially in terms of writing memoirs, autobiographies, self-help books. So there's a lot that writing can do for you.
Gosh.
That's one. So that's one of my favorites. One of my favorite poets, his name is Atticus.
Uh-huh.
So he is brilliant. His words will find your soul. So if you guys watching or listening don't know who he is, you have to look him up.
Oh, that is awesome.
But I have too many songs. I couldn't think of one, but I can tell you some favorite quotes. So
nice.
There you go.
Okay. Well, for fun, let's say you're on the freeway in St. George. It's 82 degrees. You've got the windows down. What is a default song you would like to have playing?
Probably anything by Journey.
Oh, all right, cool. Great band.
Yes, big fan. So really anything by Journey would be amazing. There's also a song called Closer Than This by St. Lucia?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I should know that if I like the song, but it's also pretty amazing. That's like one of my go-tos that I blast.
Nice.
So there you go.
All right, Kate. Well, I sincerely appreciate you taking the time out to be on the Always the Journey TV show.
Yes. Thank you for having me on. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. A lot of fun.
Good. I'm glad you had fun. I had fun as well. If you don't mind, I'm going to have you hang out for a few moments in the green room eat some M&Ms while I wrap up the show. And yeah, thanks again for being on though, Kate. And I'll be right with you. Okay.
Thanks.
Cool. You're welcome. So there you have it, Kate Greenwood. She specializes in all things writing, so be sure to reach out to her if you've got blogs that you need written, anything ghost written, like she just specified. She does books, she does pamphlets, technical writing, press releases, all those types of things for your business. She's very talented, and she can handle anything around the country and in certain parts of around the world. So be sure to reach out. All of her social channels and contact information will be below this video. Also, please feel free to subscribe. Just push that little subscribe button and also give us a thumbs up. I'd be greatly appreciated. Also, feel free to leave us a comment. If you've got further questions, we'll be sure to jump right on that. So again, thank you very much for your time. We sincerely appreciate you tuning in to Always the Journey TV, and have an amazing rest of your week. Take care of yourself.